Hello, hello. Testing microphone 1 2. Testing, testing microphone 1 2. Testing microphone 1 2. Testing, testing microphone 1 2.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this another edition of our press conference. We told you they are weekly, and every Monday we have one. President, allow me thank the media fraternity for their tireless effort, and actually in particular for what they did on Wednesday when the goons raided our offices. These people you see here did a tremendous job. Thank you very much. We told you we bring things that everyone doesn't want to talk about. The dark side of it, we bring it to light. And that is, I think, what is happening, and they are somehow feeling the heat. So it is because of you guys that we are getting there. Today, we are tackling land grabbing in Sebei region, and we have some people coming from the ground, from Sebei, who are going to tell us exactly how their land is being grabbed. And among us, we have Mr. Chesang Tom and Mr. Chemonge Simon. So they're going to tell us what is happening down there. I think you're ready to go.
Good morning. My name is Chesang Tom. I want to thank the Principal Media Fraternity, and the entire country, and all people who are across this entire time here coming to represent the Sebei region. I'm the chairman of Sebei Land Claimants Association, representing 20,000 landless claimants. 1948, our ancestral land measuring 60,000 hectares were dispersed by the Karamojong cattle rustlers, which eventually led to the formation of a report known as Oderan Report. Our elders and grandfathers left that land. It's quite a long period. That land is called Bunamche, which used to be Kapchorua, current Kapchorua and Blambule. After Karamajong's raided that area, elders completed the president in 2009 at State House about an identified boundary and land grabbing by very senior government officials. He directed the committee of inquiry to be formed, known as the land report, which was established, and that report is here. It found its finding that the land, 70% of the ancestral land, belonged to the Sabines, 10% belonged to the Bagisu, 10% belonged to the Nandi, 10% belonged to the Babagusu. It is unfortunately the countrymen, the same government which investigated the report has refused to implement this report, this cabinet report, president's report. We've been looking for justice, so we've lost land through land grabbing. We've had systems of government taking charge. The current Bududa landslide victims are being resettled in Plot 1093, that is our ancestral land, in Bonamte, while the Sabines, who own 70%, are not in the land. We've been shot. We have 15 people who were killed. Our houses were burnt by the state operatives. The later came to know, after this report was produced, government got interested in the land, especially the office of the Prime Minister, by the Uganda. I have to inform you that in 2015, after several petitions took place, our Minister of Water and Environment was by then LC5 Kapchorwa, petitioned Uganda over illegal sale of ancestral land. Uganda came to Kapchorwa, did that work as directed by the president, and his minutes are here with us. The minutes of that meetings are here with us, because we speak what was written. He produced the report. After the report was produced, it has never been implemented. Number two, the same OPM, which is meant to resettle the Sabines, have taken that land illegally. They cancelled the land titles in 2015, and then they themselves are now that land. So we are currently landless. Over 20,000 landless people are in Sabine, which is a hidden story from the truth. We have serious IDP camps in Kapchorwa, and our leaders, all our leaders have been compromised. When we started the movement of Sabine Land Claim and Secession, it covers Kapchorwa, Buko, and Queen because we are suffering the same consequences. Our land is too big. It is like 2 times Kapchorwa district. But we are not on the land. We have very high problems of unemployment in the land. We have now nowhere to live. As we call you upon media fraternity, the story of Bulambuli was created in error. Kapchorwa used the boundary between Kapchorwa and Sironko was in Sironko River. Because the Bagisu leaders were selling the land, selling to OPM, they created a Bulambuli district. And then the person who is supposed to now receive to us is also in the land. The 4,000 houses, office of the Prime Minister is resettling the people of Budunda is not the ancestral land. It is our ancestral land. What I'm just trying to say is we have been briefly denied the right to live in Uganda, and the president has been coming, dodging that question. For close to 2009, he has directed that the report was formed, it is here, and he does not want the report to be implemented. He has bought all the NRM MPs. They don't want to talk about this report. This is the report which speaks about our land, how big it is, and what happened. Until the person who investigated, which is government, does not want to implement. We have been shot on several occasions. Government has recommended that the titles cancelled. It is the same government on the land. So we have failed to get justice. We went to court. There is nothing in the court. The court was informed not to deal with that matter because the state is in the land. And number two, we have seen serious heads of cows grazing in our ancestral land. And when for us we go as ancestral claimants, they shoot us. They have burnt houses. They have killed people. So what we are telling the country is a dark story which nobody understood. Our members of parliament are feared because they basically come from the NRM platform. And I hold responsible the Minister of Water for Environment to be the person who is responsible for this mess right now. Because in his time, he was petitioning Uganda over illegal sale of 60,000 hectares. Now, I have minutes the Prime Minister had given us. We got those minutes, we must expose to the country what Uganda wrote about that land. One of the first recommendations Uganda wrote was on titles. The Prime Minister informed the meeting that was held in Kapshorwa that all titles, that's why wrongly issued, had already been cancelled based on recommendations of Odre. This is the report of the government. It was cancelled. Number 2, on restocking programs, we the Sabines suffered cattle rustlings like all other regions. It was absurd to see that we were not included in the restocking program of this country when the 3 districts, 3 regions of Teso, Lango, Acholi were put on. We were also told on this same program were included, but the money disappeared. We don't know who took the money. So what I'm informing here, countrymen, the Sabines who produce world athletes are landless. 20,000 landless youth are in Sabine, and they don't want any report to be done. So the state is against the Sabines. Even the recent going to Kapshorwa, the president was there. The person who stage managed, disorganized the LC5 from presenting the land matter because they are all involved land grabbers. They appear as people who are defending the people. They are no longer defending the people. We are looking for internal justice. We are happy that you people have come. Can we ask the president of this country? We are not interested in the boundary map. We know that when you have your letter here. We want our ancestral land, which you are resettling people from different areas. I wish to inform you that the 10% of this Bagis also are not being resettled. They are bringing people from Bududa. It is the Sabines who own 70%, 10% are also landless. Even the Bagis who are in Bunambati are also landless. If you mark what they release money for business. In that place there, the genuine ancestral claimants are not on the land. They have refused to implement this report. And this report, I pray, that to be taken to another level so that we are helped. Otherwise, we, the claimant association, have also been threatened that we wanted to cause bloodshed. We cannot cause bloodshed while we have our land. You've written, this is a national report, or the land report is not my report. It was authorized and funded by the president of Uganda. He does not want to implement because he's an interested party. And OPM is a trespass in the land. Minister of Internal Affairs are in the land. And we have seen people growing sugarcane there. So as we speak to this country, you need to rescue the Sabines are landless. And the people who have championed land grabbing are powerful people within the Sabine region. And they work with the state to deny us the right to live. Otherwise, in Queen, we also have, I will invite my friend, Mr. Chamongas, to say something. As I wind up to say that most of these matters were reported, we've reported, these things ended in dead air. This was when they were taking the people who are alleged land grabbers being investigated by Kasser and the Commission. The report has never been produced. Even the report which Ruhagan Rugunda, the former Prime Minister, wrote, I am having it with here. You'll read it. And how we cancelled the titles from 2015 up to now. We are not being resettled. The question is, what was Rugunda doing in the Sabay region by cancelling? So they cancelled the titles in 2015, and then they themselves bought the land. So that qualifies us to be more landless than any other people. And while they deceive you that there are no landless people, we are 20,000 landless people currently between Kapchora and Queen demanding for our land. We want justice. We have not we don't have any bad means, but the question of the day is nobody is speaking on our behalf. Our members of parliament have bribed because they are also involved in this Mafian mission. So the country should know that I am only appealing to our elders from Bududa. Where OPM built the houses is our ancestral land. Where the UPDF is our ancestral land. How do I explain to when I am an ancestral claim and I don't have land, I am being made landless by the government of Uganda? And that is where I wanted that this matter, preferably, if we get partners, we may be able to take this report to the international community to help us, because we have been looking for justice for close from the time I was born. I have not seen. My father has died, he never entered the land. I now said we cannot also die. My children will not ask me whose land is that. But our brothers from Blambule are okay with us. We have no problem. But the state is against one tribe who owns 70%. So the question of the day is, why did you write a report if it is not your report? Number two, why did you fail to implement the report? This is a public document. And they have used this to grab the land, take the land. They have been, for us, we've been termed as land grabbers. When we go to that land, they call us illegal grabbers. They have shot us, they have burned vehicles, we have been killed, we have been brutally arrested. We lost 16 motorcycles on 215 when Uganda came there. The state uses now the Blambule district against we, the ancestral claimants. And it has never been brought in parliament. And this report has never been discussed. I would also inform this through the media fraternity. The office of the Prime Minister was failing to discuss the land matter because the state was aware. When the president was in Kapshorwa, he very carefully was dodging the question of land. He went to the boundary. Which boundary map is not in Uganda? We have to get it from Lancaster House to solve this problem, because the LC5 was very bitter because the Sabinis are almost landless. The Bagis who own them landless, but they are bringing people from Bududa. The question is, if there are other resettlements taking place and then the owners are not in the land, how do we call that? We call that injustice. And the government we thought was for the people is not for the people. So we appeal to our brothers from Bududa that they have alternatives to speak with the Prime Minister, that our ancestral land will not be left for nothing. We want our land. We demand for our land. We demand for peace. We are not the way you describe us, but good enough. I thank our other partners, and I'm thanking Mr. Prince for here. We need Uganda with the entire team. Thank you for giving us this platform to air out our grievance, and also appeal to other international players to come and see the hidden story the Sabinis are facing in Kapchorwa, Bukwa, and Queen. We also have a land which was in Bukwa, which has been taken by Kenyan government, called Kanyoruzu land, over 600,000 hectares. Kanyoruzu land has also been taken during Idi Amin's Dada time. It was taken in exchange of Busia district. We also bring that on. We also have that information here. Preferably, that becomes now an international matter, including this one, because we have failed to fight the state. We are appealing that if we can be assisted, the Sabinis are landless. Those people who run fast, who bring you meadows, are the ones who are suffering under the NRM regime. So whoever believes they are doing the right thing, it is the wrong thing. Otherwise, for Benet resettlement issues, I will hand over the microphone to my colleague, Mr. Simon. Thank you for coming to supplement. Thank you for listening. God bless you for my country.
I want to take this time to thank the management of Need Uganda. I want to take this opportunity. My name is Chamonge Simon, Need Coordinator, Sabay Sub-Region. And right now, I want to say that at the moment, I want to thank the management of Need Uganda, Mr. President, and all the team members, and all the media fraternity. Good morning. At this juncture, I want to handle partly some small part in Sabay. Sabay comprises of 3 districts. That is Queen, Bukwa, Kapchora, and other counties inside it. And in the same 3 districts, what the chairman, Youth Claimants Association, has mentioned actually is very true, because it is a naked sort of thing. At the moment, they have talked about. He has talked about the IDPs. IDPs in Sabay sub-region is more than the number he has mentioned. But I want to tackle only for Queen. Queen is in the middle. Is in the middle of Sabay. Is in the middle of Sabay region, and this same Queen goes from the lower bell to the upper bell. The upper bell is the forest, the national park. The lower part is also national park. So the upper, the lower, those are national park. These same people who stay in the middle are now chased from the national park, and the same time are now chased from the lower bell, which is also the national park, partly Beanube. Now, the problem we have in Queen, we have over 8,000 IDPs, and these IDPs are the ones who were chased from the lower part of the Sabay sub-region, which is called the Bunambute, Jekwesat, and so on and so on. And this same lower part of the land were also being sold by the government, and the government is inside in this same land. So at the moment, the same people who are chased from the lower land is now cocooning in the middle of the main road. Then the upper bell, we have about 5 camps. The 5 camps in the upper bell is comprised of Kisangani. There is Kisangani in Sabay. Where you people heard of Kisangani in Rwanda, we have Kisangani in Queen. And this one is majorly the Roka area, where people don't have where they can eat themselves. They only have one ecosan latrine, whereby over 1,500 people use the same ecosan in the same Roka area. And these people were chased from the park, and the same area of the park went inside the people, and the local people were requesting the government to at least extend and have them a peaceful settlement, apart from settling in the rock. For over 36 years of this ruling government, the same brothers and sisters of mine and my elders, my parents, my uncles are still living in the rock. It is so bitter for me speaking today on behalf of my people. And others, there are other camps in the upper bell. There are others who calls is so-called Yadoi. There are camps that are in temporal. They were being placed in one camps. The other ones were like the government were trying to put them right, but up to today it is a naked lie. The people are still in the camp, and the people are still crying, and the government comes there once and for all when they are looking for their politics, their vote. And these people are also crying. I wish and I beg the media that one time you can have a way to survey and also visit these other camps, and you see whether these people are Ugandan. Even at the moment, we as survey, we had this, and we had already declared that if all goes well, we are just humbly praying God that God can have mercy upon our people, and if other things that can happen, we are requesting this government to cast us to go and belong to Kenya, not Uganda, because we are no longer Ugandans like other Ugandans. So at the moment, I don't want to water what my chairman has said. I just want to say that what is happening in Sabay is purely terrible. And I request the international partners, I request the Ugandans who have the heart who has the heart of the people to come and help us one on one, carry our hands, and we move together and become Uganda as Uganda, that Uganda we need. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you, Simon. When you hear such stories, you think it's a fiction, but that's the reality. That's the dark part we are bringing to light. Actually, we even wonder why we waste our resources hunting people down. I would like to tell the public that NEED Uganda, all members of NEED, are law-abiding citizens. Now, when you hear such things and you again realize they are committing all their efforts on raiding offices, hunting down politicians, you wonder. So, at this time, I would like to call Mr. President, I think, before you go for questions. Let me call Mr. President to speak to you about the same issues.
Thank you very much. Now, here is the problem we have. I've been following these Sebe issues for a very long time. From the first time I went there and I met this gentleman who is a chairman of 2,000 land claimers, an association of 2,000 land claimers. They are the most organized group I've ever gone to and met. And they have finally realized that the people whom they've trusted were actually there to rob them, because there are 9 members of parliament from Sebe. All of them are NRM. Museveni won there by 85%. But now these people are finally waking up and saying that because in 2015, they come and cancel legitimate land titles. They just say we've cancelled all land titles. The next time, they are some top members in government and First Family are buying land and grazing cattle there. Am I lying? Huh? Is that true? And grazing cattle there, where they chase these people away. Now they found those people grazing cattle. They create a scenario of insecurity. People are shot, women are raped when they go to the well, and so on. And somehow they create a, it's not a situation where it's not safe. And then these people are displaced slowly and taken away. Now there is the issue of Bulambuli, where somebody, top government official, who there has been a rumor that he's not well, has square miles of marijuana. He's growing there in Bulambuli district. And now I don't mind so much about that. The issue is, why don't they pay the people for the land? You chase people away from their land. You just come and use forceful means to chase people away so that you plant marijuana in that place. And this is what is happening here. How many people were killed? 15 people are killed. That's enough to scare people. And a few women raped and what and so on, and people just ran away for their lives. Now you have internally displaced people's camps in a place where there is no war. We used to think IDPs were for war. Now we have IDPs for an economic war. And the only thing that is the problem for these people is that land where they want to graze their cattle has a lot of gold and a lot of other minerals. And it even has oil, which they're already extracting and taking trucks across the border. And the thing is, these people are greedy barbarians. They just come and chase everybody away and then go and, put IDPs, just put people as if they are cows in some kraal in a very, very small area. These are people who had a lot of land. And you fit them in a kraal somewhere and then just take their land. No sense of justice, no sense of at least compensation, at the very least, compensation or anything, nothing. Just get out of the land. We need it. We are the owners of this country. So you are squatters in this country. For you are not as much owners of this country as we are. Now here the other man is even saying that you let us go to Kenya. No. But also you people, you stop voting for these guys. They are thieves. Stop voting for these thieves because you vote for them. The other time, even Ruto had to come and convince you people to vote for to vote for Museveni in 2021. So Ruto comes and convinces you. And these people, they are half Kenyan because even the trucks, the taxis have posters of Ruto ahead of the what? Of the Kenyan elections. And we are saying, okay, before Ruto, we have issues here to solve. We have to first settle your land. There was a consent judgment in which government agreed that these people they went to court, and there was a consent judgment. and the government agreed to resettle them back in the land. But they have not done any of that. Now there is this report here which I'm seeing. People come, they bring investors that from Israel. The report is here. Senior official Mordecai Mukama, one of the directors of the company, bringing Israeli investors. And what? That's the same thing. So people come and grow rice and what? No sense of compensation, no nothing. And this report is very big, and I know you media people will not go through it, but it actually says a lot of things if you really, really want to understand what's happening in that place. So our brothers from Sebei, I urge you to go and tell your friends, you don't vote for NRM. Don't vote for thieves. Why do you continue voting for thieves? 85% and 9 MPs, all of them are NRM. National Robbery Movement. So, this is the problem we are having. But now we have finally struck a chord with our brothers here. We are going to help them. Our first step in terms of helping them is just letting them know. When this man leaves, if you are print media especially, go and ask him questions, even whatever. Just put him aside, let him show you some of them. This man is very thorough. Everything he talks about is documented. And these documents were actually done by government agencies. And showing that what these people are telling us is true. They have been denied justice in terms of land. So you put him aside, let him show you some of these documents. And you, if you have time, go and sit and acquaint yourself with the issues of Uganda. Because for us, we do not want to do Kampala politics, of politics of Kampala and urban areas. No, we go to the villages and we try to find out what are the issues in this place. Why are people suffering in this place? So when we went to Kapchorwa, that's when we met these gentlemen and we became familiar. They have been here a number of times telling us all the issues, and we are still working together to try to find a way in which they can get justice. So thank you very much. Any questions? Okay. Uganda. Akati olwaliro tulina bannaffe bano abava mu kitundu ky'Esebei be batuleetera abaddusi ab'emidaali abakola ki abantu nga bonna bava eyo. Kati Sebei ina district 3, Kapchorwa, Buko ne Kwen. Eina constituencies 9. Ababaka ba parliament abava mu kitundu ky'Esebei bali 9 naye bonna ba NRM. Ate ne mu 21 Museveni yawangulayo n'ebitundu 85 ku 100. Naye bwe tugenda okugenda Esebei nga need ne tusanga nga bababbako ettaka babateeka mu nkambi zino ez'abanoonyi b'obuddamu naye ng'ate babaggyeko ettaka bayina ettaka lye bababbyeko lyenkana hectares 65,000 ze square miles 7 ze bababbyeko ne babajjawo. Naye ensonga lwaki babagobyeko lwakuba ettaka eryo liriko gold, liriko ne oil. Naye tebayinaamu ngeri yonna yagamba nti oba babawayo kasente okuva naye nga babagobagobi. Kati we bazuula nti waliwo ebyobugagga, bo bajja buzi ne bakozesa amaanyi ne battawo abantu. Ono agambye batta abantu 15 okutondawo embeera nti abantu kati balina okuvaawo. Kati bamala okutta abantu 15 ne bakwata abakazi abamu ne bakwatira ku bifo gye bagenze, bagenze ku nzizi okukima amazzi ne bakwatirayo eyo, ne batondawo embeera eyo okwesanga nga abantu bavuddewo bagenze babatadde mu nkambi z'abanoonyi b'obuddamu ate nga bali mu nsi yaabwe babaggyeko ettaka. Kati babona nti baleeta bayinvesita okujja okulimirako omuceeri, naye ng'ekituufu kyo kiri nti gold waali mungi nnyo n'amafuta weegali mangi nnyo. Kati eyo gye mpita resource cast. Kati tewali kitundu kyonna kitagenda kubonaabona nga bakizuddemu ebyobugagga, kubanga yenkola y'abana abasajja kasita bakuzulamu ekyobugagga basooka kujja kutulugunya bantu okutondawo embeera kwegamba abantu basooke baveewo then balyoke bajje begabire ettaka. Kati wetwogere abamemba ba First Family balinayo ente eyo, bajaasi be bazikuuma. Bano be babagoba kati bali be baliisizaayo ente zaabwe ziri eyo, bajaasi be bazikuuma. Bano ne bageza basambayo bakuba sasi. Kati bye bintu wano bye twogeddeko ebyabannaffe bano ab'omu kitundu ky'Essebbeyi. Kaakati mba mulina ebibuuzo. Balina omusajja ono bali organized abantu b'Essebbeyi, balina buli kintu kyonna kye boogerako kiriko bwino, boogera bintu bya bwino. Omusajja buli w'omuyita ajja ne fayiro ze atambula nazo, alinga musomesa. Kaakati byonna biri wano, bw'oba olina kye weetaaga ojja kimubuuza. Kati ebyange bikomyawo. Kati kansooke let me first address other issues. Let's wait. Ebifaananyi abiina okay. Kale before I go.
Erinnya nze Kasule Mark Jackson.
Ovaawo.
BBS gyenkolera. Embeera yali wano ku lunaku olwokusatu. Gye twagala otubuulireko naki kyozzaako mu mbeera eyo singa bakomawo.
Kakati ekyali wano ku lunaku olwokusatu, abasajja abajja wano baali baagala kungwako kiifo ekyo ekirungi nani sinatuuka ku ofiisi naye njagala obbabulira ono omusajja ali wano mu New Vision yali wano kati ali wano akwata aba ADF bagamba nti ba ADF eruweero kati naye yasookera wano n'alyoka agenda eruweero nti okwata aba ADF. Kakati intelligence yaffe etugamba baali baagala kukwata Kabuleta bamuteeke mu drone bamutwale eruweero nange bankwatire wamu ne bali aba ADF bagambe nti Kabuleta abadde alina obukwate ne bana aba ADF. Owulidde? Kati nabagamba nti Museveni tasobola lutalo lwa magezi era alina kusindika wano gy'amanyi byakiyekera. Kati nange atakwatanga yadde ku mmundu, sikwatanga yadde ku mmundu, simanyi na jikookinga, ayagala kuntwala mu ADF baveeyo bagambe nti Kabuleta bamukutte ali mu ADF. Kati nange naali badde wano singa bansanga wano intelligence jeff nange naali badde kuno nga nange bansibye empingo bankutte mu ADF. Ekyokunkwata sikiinaako buzibu kuba state erina amaanyi mangi esobola okukola ekintu kyonna, esobola okujja n'esimba wano emmundu ne bakwata, esobola ogiteeka mu motoka yo oba wonna esobola okuyungako omusango gwonna. Naye nga kyenjagala okumanya olutalo lwe tuliko luli ideological. Kati Museveni tasobola lutalo luli ideological era kasita omutandikira no mu by'obwongo atandika kusindikira mu byekiyekera kuba byamanyi awo wali constituency ye akutwale eno bakutwale mu court martial bakole ki naye ng'ekituufu kyo kiri buli mu abamanyi Kabuleta ebyobuyekera biyigira ddi. Obuyekero bwange buli wano mu kamwa, emmundu gye nnina eri emu yokka eri wano mu kamwa. Owulidde? So n'olw'ensonga eyo nali sikimanyi naye oluvannyuma baatutegeeza ate bannaabwe ennyini batutegeeza nti naawe wali supposed okubeera nga bakwaniveiringa ng'owa ADF. Kati njagala mbabuulire kino ekintu, tewali kitundu kitagenda ekirimu bya bugagga otagenda kusanga nti basanzeyo ADF. Kati kambabuulire kino, bannaffe abali e Mayuge bino mujja bifuna ab'e Mayuge na Mayingo baazuddeyo ebyobugagga biyitirivu mu kifo kyammwe. Kati ojja kuwulirayo ADF amakulu gaakyo bakwate aba ADF batondewo embeera bagobewo abantu. Owulidde? Olw'okuba waliwo ebyobugagga. Kati Mayuge na Mayingo lindako ojja kuwulira stories naavaayo. Kati mujja kutegeera nti Kabuleta ebintu byenjogera mbitegeeza. Linda olabe stories naava e Mayuge tujja zibaleetera abanafu abatasobola kugenda kubizuula, tujja bibaleetera wano lwakuba bya bugagga. Kati ekizibu kye tulina wano bakuta abantu ne babayita ADF. Bomu zaali wano zaavugako bbiri ne basala ne bagenge Kongo. Bomu ne zikoma. owulidde naye nga bomu abaali bakuba bomu baali Congo oba bakikolawo nga kutondawo situation ebatwale Congo okubba gold kati kyekino ekintu kye tuliko wano ensonga eriwo eri nti abantu abatufuga babbi ate balina omululu muyitirivu kakati tebaagala yadde kukwata kataka ka muntu k'osanze ebyobugagga n'omuyiriramu akatono omugaga kwata akasente kano genda ogula ettaka ewalala tebasobola bajja kugobesaawo mundu bajja kutondawo embeera bw'ogaana ojja kufuuka wa ADF kugamba ebibiina by'obuyeekera ebiri wano mu Uganda waliwo PRA yali wano teyina yadde muntu ogwo gwe yali ekubye essasi naye ng'abantu bwe baakwatira ku PRA buli awakanya gavumenti oyo wa PRA owa PRA because Museveni ebyo byamanyi kusindika abantu mu buyeekera ffe tugenda kukola buyeekera naye nga we want let me go into English kikyenzizaako kyenzizaako kyekino nze ngenda mu maaso bulungi kuba abana ab'amawulire bagamba nti ndiira ku nsiko sisobola kuliira ku nsiko Kabuleta siina musango gwe nali nzizizza era wano wendi bajja n'enkya nja kubeerawo n'essaawa ze ngenda okubeerawo nja zibabuulira kuga tewali tosobola kundiisa ku nsiko nga siina musango gwe nali nzizizza kati ate ne bw'oliira ku nsiko gavumenti esobola okuteekako ekintu kyonna omanyi these are thugs so n'olw'ensonga eyo Kabuleta byonna bye yali akola ebyokugamba nti alidde mu nsi y'olukwe okutaasa abantu b'Ekaramoja bye baali bakuba zibbomu abakyala n'abaana n'okijjayo n'okiteeka mu lujjudde wano tebakyazibakuba olw'okuba Kabuleta yakyogerako okwo si kulya mu nsi y'olukwe okwogera ku busosoze obubadde mu mawanga gano n'ebintu ebirala byonna abantu bye bazze bakola okwo si kulya mu nsi yange lukwe okuvaayo n'enjogera ku kugemesa abaana abalamu ne bavaayo nga balwadde bayi okwo si kulya mu nsi yange olukwe tewali kintu kyonna kyenkoze kiri treasonous so n'olw'ensonga eyo baba baagala kunsibako omusango gw'okulya mu nsi yange olukwe bajje baluddewo temulowooza nti twayingira ekintu kino nga tetumanyi gye kigenda kulaga ono omusajja musomedde nina emyaka 50 egy'obukulu musomedde emyaka gyonna gy'abadde mu bufuzi yajja mu bufuzi nga nina emyaka ndoza 12-13 awo so mutegeera mumanyi bulungi nnyo so bwe nayingira politics nenva mu bintu bya saabivaamu ne bwe nagaziya ebintu byange eby'obusumba ne nnyingira mu politics nali mmanyi nti bino ebintu byonna bigenda kubeerawo so tewali kipya tewali script Museveni kwatambulira yemu tekyukangako ate tegenda kukyuka nga iri emyaka 8 teri muntu alina myaka 8 ayiya kipya era akozesa kikadde n'addamu script yemu ADF buyeekera treason biki tewali kigenda kukyuka so kati okujjako nga alina kyagenda okukyusa ate nga tasobola kati owulira twogedde ku nsonga y'obwavu yavaayo juzi n'agamba nti abakulembeze abaaliwo edda be baleese obwavu past leaders nokati omuntu awedde zero ideas myaka 36 okyanenya bali 36 years oyavuwazizza abantu speciality yo Museveni yakwavuwaza abantu tewali kintu kireeta sente wano nga kigenda zireetera abantu ba bulijjo si bamemba ba famire yo kyotogenda kuvaayo n'olwanyisa tekiriiyo so kati oyavuwazizza abantu obatadde mu buzibu okoze buli kimu kati ogenda ogaa nti past leaders kati now that shows you've run out of ideas ekyo twali tukimanyi but I didn't think you would be that desperate 36 years later to say that past leaders are the ones who have brought poverty and you will be remembered your legacy will be remembered as poverty and by the kankubulire tebakomyawo ne bano bennyini bajja babuulira babakubira essimu ne babagamba nti omuntu gwe mukolagana naye terrorist our coordinators bano ab'Essebei bitundu ebirala Lango n'ebitundu ebirala batukubidde amasimu n'ebunyoro n'ebusoga n'ebunyoro batukubidde amasimu nga bagamba nti omuntu gwe mukolagana naye terrorist kati bagezaako ku demobilizinga bye tukola naye nga of course ba coordinators baffe bajja kutiisako abamu oba oli awamu badduke naye nga bakimanyi tewali terrorist wano ffe tulwanirira financial justice yensonga lwaki tuleeta ensonga zino wano tulwanirira financial nabo ne bano bennyini babakubira amasimu waki mukolagana ne terrorist recruiting amaje Kabuleta okurecruiting amaje okay, maybe nenga siga kulwana bino bya Museveni byamanyi. Ebyo bya Museveni, that is his script. I don't follow Museveni's script. I follow my script, and I've always known that Museveni cannot handle an ideological debate. He cannot. He has no ideology. He tells lies after lies after lies. There is nothing he stands for. There is nothing he can promise and do. So he cannot stand an ideological debate. And for us, we started with the purpose of starting an ideological conversation about the issues of this country. And now, because he has his script which he plays all over and over again, so now he's trying to charge Kabuleta with treason. And this man here, who was shown here in New Vision, having arrested some ADF in Luwero, was here the previous day. And he's here, the one who is on the far left. He was here the previous day. He was identified by the people who were here and said this man was here. Now, the plan was to get me, put me in a drone, take me to Luwero and unveil me as one of the ADF. And then the treason charges start. Then you are in court, out of court, court martial and what? Kabuleta, ADF, are you kidding me? You do it. It's okay. We know that script. There's nothing new Museveni can do. Nothing. His script is the same. He has used it over and over again. And we know the power of the state. They can plant a gun in my car, in my house, in my office. They can do anything and do anything. And I know they will probably do it at some stage. But the point is that what we have started here, even if they killed me, it would not stop. Because we know we are an ideological army. And we produce things which we make promises to people which are tangible, which Museveni cannot do. Okay? So now, if you are, that's why he can't, the problem, the reason he cannot stand an ideological debate is because there is no rigging. You cannot rig an ideological contest. There is no Yabakama, there is nothing. Sit there, tell me your ideas, I tell you let's talk to the people. Tell them your ideas, I tell them mine. There is no Yabakama, there is no rigging, there is no RDCs, there is no what, nothing. It's just the mind. That's why he would not even have a presidential debate in 2021. Because he knew, unlike the previous one, where people were scared of him, Kabuleta cannot be scared of Museveni. I cannot. I would stand there and tell him, you man, you've made this country poor. Every time I move in these places, I imagine what Uganda would have been like if we did not have that plague. So this is the issue we are facing right now. There is going to be a lot of resistance. That is not a problem. We were expecting it. There is going to be a lot of fake charges and so on. We're expecting it. There will probably be, we know the script. There's nothing new. Plenty, we found him with a gun, whatever, all those things. They've done them before. So, rape, they've accused somebody of rape, and the person whom they raped even had earphones, listening to what she should say. And, they've done all sorts of crazy things. So there is nothing that is going to change, but we are in an ideological struggle. So if Museveni has any ideology, let him come out and let us go in an open contest and see who wins. Okay? Because ideology cannot be rigged. It is there. That's why you cannot get into that debate. Thank you very much. Olutalo olw'obwongo, ate olutalo olw'obwongo teruliiko kubba kalulu, teruliiko byabakama, teruliiko ki, olwo lwakubisanya abantu bawulire ani alina ideas. Kati awo atirawo ddala because tasobola kugenda mu contest nga temulimu bukumpanya, era abaako alina engeri gya he cannot do it. Tasobola kola contest eri fair, tekisoboka, tekibangawo mu bulamu bwe. So bye byange. So ekiddako kye kino tugenda mu maaso katandika butandisi.